Hi everyone, my name is Lily and I'm the CEO founder of Think Dirty. So Think Dirty might not be what you're thinking, and it's actually about beauty ingredient safety, but we also actually rate personal care products, so not only for women. Okay, so I'm really excited to be here because it's an audience usually I don't normally get. I got invited to a lot of women's events, and the audience usually are like myself. And when I got an audience like this, I just thought I need to sneak in this topic, which is a little bit about purpose and inclusivity. So we've been to a lot of conferences, and usually they look like this. They tell you how to do very pragmatic, tactical things, like how to grow your company, how to raise money, how to grow hack. So I thought, why not talk about something a little bit different? So we all, as founders, very interested about the problem we are solving, but the big part of it is because it's the market size, the financial potential. We don't normally publicly, openly talk about why we care about the problems. So for me, the big part why I started Think Dirty is really actually the purpose. Why purpose important? Because founding a startup is really hard. So this is the roller coaster you'll see. At some point, you might need to be reminded why you want to start your company. That's exactly the point of crisis, meaning you will need your purpose. So in that addition for that really crisis moment, having a purpose actually really help your brand because it naturally stand out from the competition. Your branding would come across very authentic and you can attract talents really easily to believe in your mission. And not only that, actually a lot of the highest growth company is actually tied to their ideals. So I don't mind spend a brief moment why I started Think Dirty. It's actually because my mom had cancer, and for years after in advertising, after doing tons of paint washing campaign, that just got me really pissed off, and that's why I started the business. So Think Dirty is about bringing health to beauty. That's our mission. And I wake up every day thinking about it and get me excited to go build my company. So sneaking in my next topic, these two pictures probably make you cringe. It definitely make me cringe a little bit and make you wonder why 2017 you still see things like this. So when I build Think Dirty, part of my purpose is actually build a culture that makes sure you got enough diversity, different people building cool things and really believe in the mission. And without further study and whatnot, we all know that in general, women non-technical founder might got certain confirmation bias. And because I'm one, so I would love to just highlight that little factoid for you. So personal story again, I pitch a lot of business to investor and whatnot. A lot of them obviously slightly non-women. And I think beauty is an interesting business angle. But based on this statistic, it's $1 billion idea. So that kind of confirms what confirmation bias might be. So when we think about inclusivity, it's actually beyond just gender. I find in the tech community, sometimes we might be skewed a little bit to the younger audience. I think race, life stages, thinking style, personality type also interesting as an introvert. So that's something I always think about when I start building my team. So I want to share 3 very simple tools, and they're not my sponsor. I just generally thought they're really cool things just to share for the audience. So one thing that I discovered is really cool, this tool called TechTO. Is you can run every single job posting to see if your language is friendly to both men and women, so that you make sure you attract the talent that actually fit your culture without too biased when it's kind of the romance situation. The other thing is I love is when screening applicant not totally rely on interviews. I find interviews usually biased toward bringing extrovert on board. So this tool is called plum.io. It's a really interesting personality screening tool that got really robust scientific backing to it, and the applicant's really hard to game it. So it's a really good complementary tool to screen out your interview bias potentially. Now, the third thing I thought was very interesting that we might not thought about when building a team is how each person think. You know, as a designer, I think visually. My developer think extremely linear. So different talents sometimes clash because they think differently. So I read this book called Collaborative Intelligence. It's all about finding what your thinking style is. So I did my test and I discovered what my thinking style, and that's how I slowly learn each my teammate how they think and potentially form better team. So those are my little snippets sharing. You know, you might find interesting or might not, but as my motto, as I ongoing being a leader for my team, I always aim to be the great person who inspire others to see for themselves. So hopefully through a lot of talking, explaining, demonstrating, when you take away, you're gonna see for yourself and potentially build for a more diverse, inclusive culture for your business while thinking about your purpose while building the business. Thank you so much.
Questions?
Thank you very much for speaking to us today. I was just wondering, in your experience with a startup, if you could redo one thing, what would it be and why?
Okay, great question. I thought a lot about it. So I'm not the super young founders. I'm not a high school dropout, and I have 13 years corporate experience. So if one thing I could have done better or redo it, I would have started my company younger. I find as you get older, you get comfortable about the status quo. It's harder to let go what you had in the past. When you're younger, you're more easy to make mistake. But regardless, no regret. I think all my past experience led me to more potential life wisdom to potentially build a business I meant to be built. But if there's one thing I would have done it, I'd probably do it when I was younger.
Hi. So you talked about having a purpose or a meaning in your business, which differentiates you from other competitors, right? I don't know much about Arbonne, but it seems to be that they're also concerned about more safety and health in cosmetics as well. So what makes Think Dirty stand out compared to competitors such as Arbonne?
So first of all, Arbonne is a manufacturer that makes products. We are an app and mobile app that rate ingredient safety. So we're a platform, we don't make anything.
Okay.
So that's the number one difference. I cannot speak on behalf of Arbonne, but the reason why Think Dirty is needed is exactly there's a lot of unsubstantiated claim about natural. In legal, there's no legal definition of what natural means. A lot of companies can claim they're natural. So the challenge is really to read and understand ingredients. That's exactly what our app is doing. So without more overt advertising, but Think Dirty really not just exists because there's a lot of potential toxic chemical, but there's also a lot of greenwashing in the beauty industry. So that's the reason why we exist. So that's all I can comment on. And I cannot comment on that company, obviously.
Okay. So just so that I know, are there any products that are labeled safe?
So again, it's a very subjective thing. So we rate ingredients, individual ingredients, and then based on the percentage how clean and dirty, there's an overall rating. But even that, even we based on a lot of sources, academic, peer-reviewed journal, it's not 100% conclusive. Just like science, like every day there's new study come aboard. So it's a very hard black and white answer. So again, I encourage you, go use our app, scan, and look at the rating, and make your own informed decision.
Thank you.
last question.
Hi there, thanks so much for your presentation and for drawing attention to inclusivity, diversity, culture, and purpose. I think those are hugely important topics we don't talk enough about here. Curious, as a founder, if you've looked at alternate forms of organizational structure. So concepts like teal organization that's featured in a book called Reinventing Organizations, as well as holacracy and that concept.
Yeah, that's a great question. I've actually thought a lot about that because I find corporation got a lot of bad rap, especially the whole resistant movement. People don't like big corporation, even though your corporation might be a one-person operation. But I don't know if that would exactly answer your question, but there's a new type of organization called B Corps. Is called benefit corporation. So any company could potentially certify being a B Corp, and your company mission statement would make sure you're not just for profit, but also for people and planet. So when Think30 first started, I actually really want to get us certified, but it requires business be in operation for longer. So we're still on track potentially do it. So if you Google B Corp, and I think this new type of company structure really built in the mission statement from the get-go. So unlike traditional corporation, maybe maximizing shareholder value is the number one thing, but B Corp really think about the profit, people, and planet factors.
Thank you so much.